Morning, it's Monday, time for some book talks. Woo! I read 3 books this week, 2 print books and 1 audio book. First, I'll show you We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. I have loved everything that I've read by this author. Her stories really feel very genuine, like something that could have actually happened to someone. They're very unique. It's not generally your typical like high school student story. All of the stories I've read by her have been just lovely and very well done, and this was no exception. We Are Okay. It's about a girl who has moved from California to New York for school, but when she did that, she basically left everything and everyone behind. And it's one of those stories where if you don't read anything about it before you start, then you can be nicely surprised by all the things that happen. I'll say nicely, but also it's very sad. It is a sad, kind of quiet book. I don't want to tell you too terribly much about it, except if you like emotional stories, you like stories about people discovering things about themselves or coming to terms with things that have happened in their past, then you might enjoy this book as well. When you're reading it, you know something has happened recently in the past that was a big deal, but you don't know what it is until you read further into the story. So, but I definitely recommend it. We already own it, so it's here in the library if you want to check it out. Nice change after reading that saddish book was My Lady Jane. This was an audio, and it's written by 3 different authors, Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows, and it is a fantasy alternate history covering the reign of Lady Jane Grey. Okay, in actual history, Lady Jane Grey ruled England for 9 days and then was beheaded. She's not beheaded in this story. You get a little bit of narrator to reader interaction in the story. If you choose the audio version, the narrator is fantastic. She does everyone's voices very well. It's a nice English accent. She does all the male characters and female characters equally well. What I'll leave you with on this story is that not only is it some English history, it also has some kind of mistaken identity, like conspiracy type stuff going on. Lady Jane Grey is arranged to be married to a Lord Gifford by her cousin, who is the King of England, King Edward. He arranges for her to marry this Gifford guy, who she thinks is kind of a ladies' man, and then she finds out that he turns into a horse. Okay, like every morning he turns into a horse, and he's a horse all day, and then at night he's a man. I'm not giving away too terribly much about the story, because I believe they tell you that in the description, but there are lots of other people and other things that happen and surprise you unexpectedly. It's funny, there's lots of action and intrigue and you know, running around and stuff. So I definitely recommend it if you want some sort of light-hearted kind of historical-ish fantasy. It's very good. It's part of a series, so there'll be more. And then last one I'll talk about, I finished this one with Sam, my son, last 2 nights ago, I think, In a Glass Grimly, and this is the second for this Grimm Tales. It starts with A Tale Dark and Grim, which was about Hansel and Gretel, and this one was about Jack and Jill, okay? Jack and Jill of the nursery rhyme, and also various different other fairy tale stories that have characters named Jack and maybe may or not have characters named Jill. But there's a lot of different fairy tales woven into this one. There's a lot of, you know, author, narrator, reader interaction as well in this book. It's funny, it's kind of gory, it's kind of gross in some parts. And while I read it to my 9-year-old, I enjoyed it as well. We've had students check this out here at the library who have brought it back and then checked out the 3rd one, so they must have liked, you know, number 1 and 2 as well. I have number 3 checked out at my house, and hopefully we'll finish it before school's out and somebody can read it here if they want to. Hopefully I'll be talking about Dune next week. I'm moving along. I just have this much left, so hopefully I'll be done with that soon and I can tell you what I think about that. But anyway, we're going to be testing starting tomorrow. We have signs on the door. We have signs on the door and signs on the library webpage, and I'm going to be putting it on Facebook as well, so you can see we're closed just a couple times between now and May, just a few, but they'll be on the door. So make sure if you come to the library and you see that we're closed, please don't try to come in anyway. That's kind of inconvenient. But we may or may not have someone in the hallway that can help you if you need that. Don't forget, you can always send us a message online via email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If Schoology, you can look up my name or Miss Porter's name on Schoology and send us a message that way. If you need to renew a book, the book drop in the hallway, always open. You can always put a book in there if you're done with it and you need to return it. So I couldn't do such and such because the library was closed is never an acceptable excuse. Book drop's always open. Email, Facebook, Twitter, whatever communication lines are always open. So you can always renew your book that way. It's coming to the end of the year, so if you're done with stuff, please bring it back. If you have fines, please pay them. But between now and then, we'll be seeing you. Bye.